people or returning for this. I missed last week. So we have one that is returning for the second week in a row. So woohoo! And we have a new person. Yay! Welcome everyone. Just a couple notes. Yoda is over here, so we ask for donations. The church has given us this space for over a year, but we like to provide some funding for them. So there's Yoda over here. We also do still collect for the local food pantries. I know I haven't been plugging that, so I apologize. If you are new or if you are not getting the emails, please let us know. If you're new and you want to get an email, you get maybe 2 a week. Depends on how efficient I am. One is with the notes that I write up or type up, and then one with the upcoming agenda, though I try to send those out at the same time. So if you want to get into that email, or if you're not getting the email for some reason, reach out to me later and we can talk about that. Okay, so updates are listed there. Does anyone want to speak to any of the possible updates on any of those events? Think about that for a moment, because I will talk about, I just went to the We the People and the Transportation Riders United. Thanks, Jen, because I grabbed one of those and then I walked out and forgot to take it with me. That was just held, and there were 2 TRUs, people that came here, and they are riding throughout the state on public transportation. So they arrived last night. Or this morning at about 4:59 a.m. They're leaving about 12:30 because that's what the buses allow them to do around here. And so there was a group, there was quite a few, about 20 people around the table. We had some county commissioners, we had Mark Tran, representatives there, we had community members there that were talking about public transportation, what is lacking, and how we can move forward. So that was happening tonight. My guess is next week or the following week we'll hear a little bit more about that. So that's my only update. Does anyone have any of these other ones that you can update us on? Go ahead. Remember, it's not about me getting up and down all night.
That's so funny. I know.
How close? There we are. I am very curious about the Marquette County Commissioners meeting. Did anyone go? No. Okay. We held the Rapid Response Team initial planning meeting last night. Thank you for that. We had 20 people there and 23 people there, including 3 people, but maybe 4 people. And the idea is that we need to be ready to support access to the ballot in the face of leaders in our country who are clearly saying that they're already saying that things are wrong with our elections, even though they are not. And so the message is, I'm going to change my hat. I am now currently wearing my paid hat, which is Up North Advocacy. I am paid to be part of a giant coalition of about 25 organizations across Michigan to support access to the rights that we have to vote and to support the voting system that we have in Michigan, because the U.S. Constitution says that each state sets its own rules for voting. That is what is written into the U.S. Constitution. The federal government actually does not have a role in that. And in particular, our local clerks here, our township clerks, our city clerks, are the people who manage the elections. There is no way for the long arm of Lansing to come in. And so there's going to be more and more information coming out about the critical role of our clerks. I did say at the meeting last night, take them a pie because they've deserved it. And if pie is your thing. And the other clear message is that because of the words that are currently being spoken and have been spoken for years now about people trying to sow doubt about our elections and their outcomes, we need to let people know that we have a very, very strong system here in Michigan, and that voting early and dropping your ballot off in the ballot drop box, requesting a ballot, voting at home, and dropping it off or taking part in early voting, because election day is now the last day to vote. It is not the only day to vote. So all that aside, we are forming a group of people to help with monitoring at the polls, and then also I am recruiting people to be what's called a nonpartisan poll challenger, and you would be there to defend the process. You do not interact with voters, but you would be there, you would be trained. We have a training that's put together by the group Promote the Vote with Mackenzie Walls, who is here, and ACLU, and a bunch, that's the 24 organizations. And you would be there to observe the process. And if there's any questions, there's a person to call, and then there's teams of lawyers who can answer questions. And we are seeking the 9 days of early voting and the day of the last day of the election. We are filling slots there. It's all, training will be ready and available starting on July 1. So that is a direct ask if you want to be involved there. We're also learning, and Shirley Kriegel is really stepping up and taking a lot of this for LSRI. We're having another meeting with Mackenzie on Thursday morning. There's also, if you want to be one of the people who's in the community and available to help, we're working with a group called Common Cause, because they, turns out, are the people who manage what happens outside polling places. So lots of details. That's what clerks take care of. But if you're like, I wish I could do something, this is something you can do. And so thank you to the 20 people who are stepping up, and more to come on that. And can I could speak to my other topic. Yeah. I got word this week that data centers were on the Forsyth Township Planning Commission agenda on June 1st, which of course is in the past. And so I don't know what happened at that meeting, but it does seem to coincide with something that Paula heard about there being something under development at KI Soda. So I'm going to have a breakout table to talk about that when we're done with announcements. And I think that is everything. I feel like there's something else, but if I remember it, I'll stand back up.
We'll have a breakout table. I'm Chris Hendrick. We'll have a breakout table for the parade preparations, especially the float, but other things too. There is a design, and a lot of the preparation for that is done. So we'll talk about what's needed and volunteers and so on. So if you're interested, please come to the table. Saturday we did Signs of Fascism in Marquette. It had about 16 people holding signs. We had an actual drum beating along the way. It was well received. We staggered a little bit with Peace and Justice. They started, and then we started, and we joined them, and we picked up a few people and kept walking, which worked out really, really nicely. And
we're gonna do it again, I'm not sure when and where. If somebody has an idea like, hey, let's do it, blah, on such and such a day, everything's made, we just gotta put out a mass email and get people to come. And, so far it's been easy to get people to come, because it's kind of a cool idea. Anyway, yes.
Are there photos or videos somewhere?
There's photos, and Brad put some photos in the newsletter, today's newsletter, I think. Went out yesterday. There are some. Yeah, Gail Raisinin was there. She's our official photographer. Okay, stay tuned.
So nothing from League of Women Voters on June 3rd? Did anyone get to watch the Big Tech, Big Questions forum? I didn't get it in, I didn't get the notes out, so I did not. That was about the data centers. And I suppose you have to register to get a recording.
Yeah, and I actually didn't get to see it either if you were down the street.
Yeah. So if we can,
I haven't seen a recording come out of it though. I'm talking to one of the speakers tomorrow, so if there's something else to know.
okay, so Jen's gonna see if we can get a recording of that because that was about the data centers. I was on Discord, Emily shared, so if you look at the second page, it says Protect Chocolate Township Wetlands. And there is a website you can go to. There is no regulations for protecting the wetlands out in Chocolate. And so there's a group that is trying to get that started. So there's that. 4th of July float, I do want to mention for anyone that's listening, we need 25 signs, right? No. How many signs? 16. Okay, I tried. 16 signs made. The sayings are already or have been brainstormed already. So really you're just taking one of the poster boards or 2 or 3, however many, and writing that saying on that poster. You got more about that? Good, thanks.
Not on that specifically, but there will be some costs incurred with possibly some lumber to shore up the sign. And if we want to do remember last year we did those, passed out those pocket constitutions, U.S. constitutions. And I looked up the site, and we can get 500 for like $250 or 1,000 for like $4 something. So it would be a cost that we would maybe want to toss a hat out and try to raise some funds on to help a little bit with the cost. Well, 500 was like 250. It's just a rough. 250 and 1,000 was just under 500. Did I do? Yeah, 450 to 500 for 1,000. I think Deb got 1,000. I think she funded it last year.
Yeah, because I checked, Douglas, I think someone, another individual asked me about it, and I asked Deb about it, and we ran out. We didn't even make it to Harvard Park.
So we ran out having 1,000 of them last year.
They were really well received.
Yes.
People loved them. So, yeah.
So as a organizing member of both Yoopers Unite and LSRI, I would like to suggest that we ask LSRI to partner with us on this, and maybe we could split the cost in ordering a big bulk of them. So I am going to ask by show of hands, all in favor of partnering with LSRI to seek some funding to share for the cost of pocket constitutions. Please raise your hand if you agree. And if you would have concerns or would like further discussion, raise your hand. The motion then passes, and we will talk to LSRI about partnering. Thanks, guys.
Oh, those Robert rules. Remember, we gotta be careful with those.
I'd like to add something about that. I think that's probably the most important expense that we have to be, is it up?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's, the Constitution's being able to hand out a lot of those is really important, and that's where we need to push our fundraising. I'm not worried about the lumber, and we're probably gonna be the ones who are gonna figure out what's needed, but, oh, good. In other words, there's stuff that's probably already taken care of, but those constitutions, so let's really give big to that.
Oh, state flags, did you get anything on that?
There was also talk last week during the breakout planning that to get a set of all the states' flags and have those on the float, because the theme is indivisible, right? 250 years, blah, 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 but indivisible is one of the words too, and just showing how we are all 50 states. Thanks, Chris.
What's one nation, indivisible, celebrating 250 years. That's what the sign will read, because the design is done and the letters are cut. Well, mostly cut. They have to be cut around so they can be traced around, but that's another thing. But what we talked about was not having the state flags on the float, but in the hands of the people that are following the float. So in other words, we need at least 50 people walking and carrying some state flag. Maybe a state they've got some connection with that isn't this one, because we aren't going to have that many Michigan flags. So anyway, that's slight variation on the theme there.
Awesome. Thanks to Tina for mentioning something about having all 50 states represented. Going to give her the kudos on that idea. Graham's going to have something to share here, but I just want to point out when I do the events, I try to point out if there are any new ones. I was at Messiah Lutheran the other day and saw that there is a concert this Friday. So that's new, and it is a free will donation for Ukraine war victims. So if you're able to do that. Oh, I did not put the new on, but the Forsyth Township Planning Commission, July 6th. I didn't tell you where or time. So it's July 6th at 6 p.m. at the Gwynn Clubhouse. I also have added the LSRI membership dialogues. So I've added that on here. Including one on the west side up in Ishpeming. Yay, 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 yay. And that one will be at the end, the last Sunday of every month. And did the Ukraine March in Houghton change from Sundays? Did it go back to, Sundays was like their winter schedule, and usually they flip to Wednesdays or something? Anyone know? And then it says show your support about the t-shirts, which reminds me, are we expecting people that march with the float to wear the t-shirts? Okay, so you can get those t-shirts. They look like this, but they're blue. And the shorts, yeah, this is a sweatshirt. And there are two over on the table. I think they're both extra large that are free will. They are pay it forward. Graham, are you ready? Because I think I'm done. Yeah. I'm not in charge. Go ahead.
I got to hear, I was up early this morning, down at the bottom of one-time events is Dr. Barb McQuaid. She was actually the U.S. Attorney for Eastern Michigan. She's got a new book out about the fix, about gangsterism and governing. She's really, really smart and incredible, and she's going to be here in Marquette. And so she's going to be at the Peter White Public Library on July 16th at 6:30. Really highly recommend that event too. She's wicked smart, as they say in New England. And yeah.
Yeah, I'm familiar with her and know her.
So I got really excited when I heard that she was coming. And this is jointly sponsored by Snowbound Books. And she's going to be at the library. It's being billed like 6:30 to 7:30, 1 hour only. And mostly it sounds like a book signing. Like, I don't think it's an event that it didn't sound like an event like she's going to put on a talk or lecture or whatever, and then encourage people to buy her book, which, makes sense. So, first I was excited, and now I'm kind of,
But on the library website, it's part of the Kulishek endowment. She's speaking. She's got to be speaking. They want it right. Snowbound is probably plugging that they're going to be there selling her book, and it can be signed.
They're saying it's only 1 hour long, so I would like to
Yeah.
know.
I'll go sit down and I'll look at the Peter White Library page, because I'm pretty sure that's a Kulishek speaker, I think. So I'll look.
Okay, I'm here on behalf of the Visibility Brigade. Our theme this week is every Tuesday from 4 until 5:30, and the theme today was Blame the Billionaires. And Brad came up with a good idea for next week. Saves labor, tax the billionaires, and we don't have as much work to do making the banners. So Marquette, we had 8 people, Ishpeming 6, and Nagani 9, and I want to encourage everybody to come out. We need more people. Thanks.
You said billionaires and my brain started moving. There's going to be a letter campaign. The Postal Service, in their changes that they're doing to make it harder to mail in your ballot, they are following the law and having a comment period. So the coalition that's working on protecting the vote, they're going to have points that we have to make to say, don't do this, this is worse. So look for that coming in. Certainly it'll be in the newsletter. Maybe we'll even have a special edition. But the comment period is going to close on July 2nd, so we have a little bit of time. But we definitely, if all, they have to take into account. So we have to make some very specific points in those. That language is coming. And then the other concern is, you've heard me say, June is state budget negotiation time. And there is another of the many things they're going to be trading off in horse trading and making sausage is the One Big Beautiful Bill gives governors the right to sign into having a school voucher program where public dollars go to private schools. And so there is concern that in the horse trading, because of the Democratic governor, Democratic Senate, and Republican House, the Republican House may hold out just to get the voucher program. We don't know that, but that is, I'm not in those rooms, but that is a concern. So there's also speaking out to everyone we can to say that Illinois and Wisconsin have already said no, but because this is now going to come down to this budget negotiation and the way that they wrote the One Big Beautiful Bill does give governors the right to just sign in, we need to make sure that Governor Whitmer knows that we don't want let's bargain away something else, but letting vouchers in is not going to be good for our schools.
I'm going to piggyback on that. Cynthia's nodding.
So I'm going to piggyback on that, and then I'll tell you about the Barb McQuaid. So last night at Armchair Actions for LSRI, that Cynthia had done draft action. And then we spent at least an hour researching and trying to figure out truly how that whole system works. I will tell you the best source that I found last night while we were looking is the Ballotpedia website. It has a map of all of the states that have already opted in, just about everyone, and even the ones that are have said that they're not going to are now starting to backtrack. So Armchair Action is working on getting some information out about that, because truly we spent there was 6 of us just trying to truly understand how the whole thing works. So be looking for that coming out at some point.
Can I say one more thing about
Yeah.
One of the most dangerous things about this, it seems to come from the Project 2025 people who want to tear apart our education system. And there is it's complicated. The monies go to boards who decide who to give scholarships to, but there is no cap on the amount of money that they can give or who can give it. So large organizations, if Elon Musk wanted to give like $4 million or $4 billion for this, he could do that, and that's how they're going to get the Christian nationalist stuff for all of us and tear apart our school system. And almost all the states have signed on so far. The tax exemption piece is not the real danger of it. It's much broader and much bigger than that, and it's very scary. You should all research it.
Yeah, because the tax break is $1,700 max, dollar for dollar. But that's just how much you can get on a tax refund, right? It's not how much you totally could give. So that's what we were starting to really start understanding last night. But again, Deb and Carol are working on trying to get that information out in a manner that kind of makes sense to us. But I will say the Ballotpedia is a good place to start, because it had a map, it had some basic stuff to try and get you like your feet wet in this whole conversation.
So and this is not locked down like the election protection is.
Right.
I think we should do this statewide conversation. This is truly coming from the grassroots. There was a call today with like 3 people.
Yeah.
So I can get you guys into that call.
Yeah, and I've been getting this stuff from the Michigan Education Justice, right? Yeah, because I'm a retired teacher, so of course I'm on their list. Yes, so I've been sharing some of that too. So according to Local Hop, the Kulishek Speaker Series, it talks about her, and McQuaid will discuss her recently published book, The Fix: Saving America from the Corruption of Mob-Style Government, focusing on elections and election law. You can call, of course, Peter White Public Library to get more information, but it is a discussion because it's the Kulishek Speaker Series. And I'm sure, yes, but Snowbound will be there with books to sell and to get signed. Okay, Graham, you've been waiting.
Wait, one more thing. Sorry. Jen, you talked about the post office thing and something about letters. Any chance of having materials here next week that we could do something with?
I'm learning with this coalition, the lawyers don't want to promise anything until it's actually done. So I'm hoping it will be here next Tuesday, and I will actually be here, hopefully I'm here after 3 weeks. So I will get it to certainly Paula, but hopefully it will be done and ready to go.
Jen is hoping it will be done and ready to go, so we'll have something next week or maybe the week after. Okay, good. Okay, and just because I've thought about it, I just want to thank Paula for all she does to try to gather everything together, and I think we all appreciate it, and we don't thank her enough. And of course, our guru over here, I will now cede.
All right, so I'm going to talk about a couple things. First things first, this weekend. Since Donovan's not here to say it, this weekend's Pride. Hey. I'm very excited. My parents are going to be up for the first time ever, and I decided I'm going to take them to it, so that'll be fun. First time up for Pride, I should say. Uh, so that's going to be on Saturday from noon to about 11 p.m. I know that after a certain point it becomes adults only, uh, but definitely during the morning that is going to be family friendly. So take your family down, have fun. There's a ton of stuff going on.
Maple Leaf Spurs are on at 5:30.
Maple Leaf Spurs, 5:30. Thank you. Also happening on Saturday, a little bit smaller, it's the grand reopening of Little Trout Lake over on the base, K.I. Sawyer. They have done an amazing job. I've gotten a couple of sneak peeks. Some of our student groups have gone down there to check it out. It is a beautiful space now. I definitely recommend if you want to find a park and you're down that way in Gwyn, go check it out. It's wonderful. That grand reopening is going to be from noon to 4, and there's going to be a lot of stuff going on from what I hear. Also talking about KI, and kind of branching that into education in general. For those of you that don't know, I am the school librarian for Gwyn Elementary Schools. So I do look into a lot of different books and what we're bringing into the schools. One thing I'm going to recommend, if you have the time this summer to stop by a school office and drop off a book donation, nonpartisan books regarding how election systems work, especially not how it works, but it's a story about how a child interacts with it, I highly, highly recommend make a donation. There's one in particular that I already have copies of called Leo's First Vote. It specifically doesn't say anyone who's being voted on, doesn't say any parties, and it doesn't even say what the parties care about. But it makes a good way of showing, hey, why do votes matter? Does every vote matter? And, you know, why should I worry about this? It's a really great book. I recommend if you find something similar, feel free to make a donation to your local school, because it'll be a big help, especially with midterms coming up. They're looking at ways to discuss this with kids without bringing partisan politics into it. I had one more thing. Give me just 1 second. If I remember it, I will come back up. How about that?
And then Tina. When I heard him talking, I went, or you could give one of those to your neighbor. Leo's First Vote. Those people that maybe don't think that their vote counts. Maybe a children's book will help them understand that. That was my thought. Anyway, Brad suggested to the Armchair Action Committee for LSRI, that we take our actions and put them into letters to the editor. However, if you ever want to come and watch us work on a Monday night, we're pretty brain dead just writing the actions that we're writing. Because as you heard, we are educating each other a lot on different things. So we would love that, but we don't have the brain power. So if there is someone else that would like to take the armchair action and get it into a format that would then be able to be submitted to the letter to the editor, we as a group thought that was a great idea, because it's all there. It just needs to be written possibly in a slightly different format. And many of the armchair actions are really also educational. Like we just said, we're learning a whole lot about this new voucher thing. We learned all kinds of stuff about how reconciliation happens. That took us 3 weeks. Yeah. Oh, we like it though. Like we banter back and forth. Like, no, I think it means this. And so if there is someone that would love, or if you know someone, maybe a friend, the issue would be, you can only submit one person can only submit letters every so often. So, we said you could bring it here and someone could go, oh, I'll submit that one, and they could put their name on it. So there's ways around that. Christy.
I was wondering if the resource documents are online on Google Drive or something?
Yes, so on the website, so in when we develop the armchair actions, we have a newsletter blurb that you will see in the LSRI, and it's short, right? But on the website, there is the longer version, and it goes into more depth. The only time we haven't done that is this last one, because it was about, making sure that you're logging in and watching that concert come 7:30 on Sunday, because we really want to show MAGA how to, what alternative programming really should look like. Okay. So yes, it's on the website, so anyone could, and maybe we can plug that too as a way in the next newsletter or something. Like, hey, feel free to use these well thought out, well researched pieces and write a letter to the editor about one of these topics. Yeah, I like that. Thanks. Okay, Tina, you're up. I'll be there in a minute. Okay. Anyone else want to take it?
Hi, I made it. Tina Taylor. I would like to just talk to you a little bit about what we're planning for Sunday from LSRI. We are having a family fun day. There's a flyer on your tables. Family fun day at the park at Lake and Inland. It is our way of participating in the National Day of Rise Up and Sing Out. If you are unaware, that is a national concert being held, I think at, I thought it was at 7, but you just said 7:30. So 7:30 till 9. Big names attached to it. The national organizations have asked us to have a day of celebration, and not necessarily a political action, but just to celebrate. It's Flag Day. Let's take the attention away from the Orange Guru and put it back where it should be, celebrating our country and each other and our flag. So Tom Lankinen has generously offered to open up his park facility to us again this year for this cause. We are going to be gathering, the event will go from 2 to 6 p.m. so you get done in time to get home and watch the concert. I have a variety of things to do. If you have children, there'll be some kid activities, putting together like scavenger hunt and just an actual fun day. We have some local musicians coming in to provide music from 3:30 to 4:30. LSRI will be providing the main proteins and some beverages and tableware. So if you're coming, please bring a chair to sit on and maybe a dish to pass and some energy to have some fun and maybe get involved and do a little bit of interesting things. There'll be fishing and some different things like that available. So it is also, on the fishing note, the DNR's in Michigan's free fishing day, so weekend. So if you would just like to know that for fishing other places, that it's a good thing to do in the UP. I'm looking for people to help me set up that would be willing to come out there probably by 1 o'clock. I am going to be coming here probably by 11 or so. I have to load up the tables on my trailer to bring out there. So if there is somebody that would come and meet me here earlier in the day, I'm seeing a hand, so that we can get the tables loaded to bring out there. And then I am going to have a round table, so if you would be interested in signing up for a specific thing, I still need to have somebody do face painting for the kids, and just a little bit of directing traffic. So like people as they come, you can say, oh, this is happening over here, and this is happening over here, just greeter kind of stuff, as well as rotation of people willing to work the grill, so that not one person has to just stand there. So that is what's happening on Sunday. And there is a mobilized sign up. So if you have not signed up for it yet, but you intend to come, even if you're only going to stay there for a little bit, it will help me know how many burgers and things like that I need to have available. So please feel free to sign up. Let me know you're coming, and if you have any, special requests for, I don't know, dietary needs, I try to accommodate and make sure that we can feed people because, as you all know, food is a love language, and I love you all. So, anything else you can think of? I think I said that, yeah. Dish to pass. A chair and a dish to pass. Please take those flyers with you and put them wherever you feel appropriate. Take a picture of it or go on to the website and transfer it, download it and upload it and all those things so that we can get it on your personal Facebook pages or spread the word out. It really is intended to be a nonpartisan, just family fun day at the park. We would like people to just come and enjoy camaraderie and fellowship in the sense of, just enjoying time with people and share some music. So, yes, Paul?
So I've been thinking about parking. Is that should be parking?
There's a lot of parking at Lake and Land, so I'm not necessarily feeling like it's going to be that big of an issue. I think that, we are going to have the run of the park. So if we had to, we could have people park around the loop, and because there shouldn't be cars driving through the loop because the park is ours for the day. So, I'm going to try to do a little bit of creative scavenger hunt for that day. So there will be people walking the paths to look for different things. But if we had to, we could put cars through there to park. So, so come to my little section of the world over here after we're done talking so that you can tell me what you're available to help me with on Sunday. I know, there's a few specific things. I need somebody to bring ice and that kind of stuff. So, all good?
So Tina's over here, so there. Data centers, we're gonna continue that conversation, right, from last week. So Jen's raising her hand, so we'll meet over there. Chris, I assume this is going to be where, since you lead it, you get to have them come to you at your table, wherever you're seated. Yeah, so float parade is here. Is there any other breakouts that we needed? All right, I think we're good.
There is a call out for a sound person next week. I will be at Arts Camp and Midsummer. I'm bringing the Spurs to Minnesota to the co-op, so they'll be playing. But if someone's going to work the sound next Tuesday, the system will be here, and I'll be back in 2 weeks.
Video as well, too. Video as well. You said video as well.
Oh, and I was just reminded by Grant, video as well. We need video and audio. So, volunteers are welcome. Thank you.